Humans? Ha! Don't even get me started. Our kind and theirs keep our distance from each other. Officially, anyway, which suits me just fine. Humans are crazy. The rest of the galaxy's learned by now to just let them do their own thing, fight amongst themselves. You've probably heard about the ones who learned the hard way, the Ifrin and the K'tik. But that's neither here nor there. I just want to tell you how rutting crazy humans are. Especially this one bunch of them I had the wonderful pleasure of running into. Now, you might have heard how big humans are on religion, and when I say big, I mean it. Their entire history is filled with killing each other in the name of some god or another. Even different versions of the same god, if you ask some of their religious scholars. I know, that's strange. A lot of the other races have a unified religion, and of course we don't have any. One reason the humans haven't gotten together and taken over the whole damn galaxy is all that difference, I'd wager. And not just religious difference, but political difference too. Anyway, where was I? Alright, that small batch of humans. They're a strange bunch. You can find their messages if you look hard enough on the extranet. References to, well, let me describe it from the one or two holos I've seen of it. Imagine a pile of plasma casters. I mean every type, every different manufacturer. Now, imagine someone shaped that pile of casters into a cube. Got that image in your mind? Okay, now for the kicker. These notjobs worship the damn thing. They treat it like it was some sort of god itself. I mean, sure, the Duran have their idols, but this is a rotting pile of weapons, shaped as a cube. And that's not even the worst of it. They send members of their cult around to any conflict spots. Now, usually it's a human conflict, but they go to any they can. Remember the war we had with the Ifrin before the humans wiped them out? I was in the service then. Now, you know how it generally is when two powerhouse races decide they want to fight over something, especially a planet that both can colonize. It's pretty civil, as much as a war can be. Everyone commits their forces, slug it out to try and control the population centers, and the victor gets the rock while the loser sulks off for diplomatic concessions. And you know how that war started. The Ifrin wanted the colony we had. Anyways, I was stationed with a planet-side garrison. We controlled the capital city at the time, and we were fairly entrenched. A few skirmishes here and there. My guess is the Ifrin were probing our defences, but then it started to get weird. One night out of nowhere, there were dozens of... I can only describe the sound as being like thunder, but much shorter. A few scouts were sent out to investigate, and one found an Ifrani squad, slaughtered. And the strangest thing was their wounds. They didn't have the typical burns and melted flesh that plasma casters leave, but instead punctures, like they had been stabbed. We didn't even think of it at the time, but it turned out they had been massacred by kinetic weapons. I guess that spurred the Ifran into action, because over the next few days the fighting at the capital got a lot more intense. We were actually getting pushed back by the enemy offensive when those cracks of thunder started to happen within the city. Ifran officers started to die. To this day it confuses me. The Ifran were scouring what territory they held. We started looking too, but as far as I know neither of us found where or even who that fire was coming from. Not right away, anyway. And I'm getting to the good part. Trust me. I was unlucky enough to be picked for a patrol for a contested area. Only we ended up waltzing into an Ifran ambush, and that would have been the end of me. They outnumbered us by at least 3-1. At first it was a massacre. We got caught with our feet in the mud, and they were set to wipe us all out. I'd call it pure luck that I lasted as long as I did, but with my caster overheated I was about to die too when those cracks started sounding. At first it sounded like they were behind me, where an apartment building was, but then they started to come from the left, then the right, then ahead of me, and it was the Ifran's turn to be massacred. Their attention was drawn from me, and I gladly took the opportunity to find some nice sturdy cover. It went silent after a few minutes, although damn if it didn't feel like eternity. I dared to peek out, and all the Ifran were dead. All of them. Then I heard something move behind me, and cursing my caster for overheating, I prepared myself again for death. But after standing there waiting for a minute, and not being shot in the back, I finally turned around and what I saw changed everything. A damn human, holding some sort of weapon that looked like it was made more from wood than it was from steel, in an outfit I will forever recognize as belonging to that cult. I couldn't really believe it. The humans had absolutely zero vested interest in this battle, and as history later proved, the Afran did not take well to any amount of human presence. He stared at me for another minute, before he finally shook his head and uttered these words in the human language of English. "Get out of here, stalker." At the time, I didn't know a word of their languages, but I did know that he wasn't aiming his weapon at me, and didn't seem like he was holding me there. I grabbed my caster and ran back to my base as fast as I could. Looking back, it was pure luck that I didn't run into any more patrols along the way. Command refused to believe I saw a human. I was just a young soldier at the time, whose entire squad had been annihilated by the Afran. Why believe my word, after all? The humans hadn't shown any interest in our affairs. As I understand it, eventually the Afran and even our own command realized that at least a small band of humans was present in the capital. No more than 100. The human government denied even knowing that such a group had gotten involved, let alone authorizing it. We were skeptical but grateful that they seemed to be aiding us. Not once did they fire on our forces in that war. The Afran, of course, took greater offense to the intrusion, and you know how that went. Want to know something absolutely insane? One day I woke up in my barracks, and a small plaque was on my ruck. I have no clue how they managed to get past our security without having someone on the inside, but someone in that damn cult had tracked me down and left a memento. Yeah, I still have it. It's in a different language than what was spoken to me, though. Half of it is in this alphabet that doesn't even get used that much among humans. I actually ended up spending several years tracking down a human linguist who could translate it for me. What? You want to see it? Fine. Give me a second.